what's going on? This is Pure Polarity coming with episode 2. I'm not sure what this episode is necessarily going to be called, but it's going to have just my questions and answers for it. And I know I haven't been making episodes. I haven't been consistent. I need to be consistent. But here's the second episode. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. Let's get into the first question. The first question that I got was, what is something that people do not tell you about a spiritual awakening journey? Now for me, I was really just doing my own research on spirituality. So I wasn't really going by, what people are telling me, but something that people really don't talk about, I guess you could say, is to really just focus on staying open-minded and take plenty of deep breaths when you're practicing spirituality, because a lot of people can feel like they're spiraling. A lot of people can feel like they're going insane and they're losing their minds, and that's somewhat what I was going through, because I was just really having a lot of deep thoughts about certain things that didn't really start to make sense to me anymore, about my religious practices and how I emotionally connected with myself, and all those things. So something that was just great advice from me in the beginning of my spiritual awakening that most people don't really talk about was just to try to keep an open mind as much as possible. And also do plenty of breath work, because trying to keep an open mind and staying grounded and doing lots of breath work was something that helped me, most importantly, during my awakening. And it also helped me, receive a lot of other information that I was really curious about, regarding myself, because when I was doing research, I understood that it was necessary to know about certain things. But once I started to incorporate the things that I was researching in my life, my spiritual awakening journey started to make a lot more sense. Okay, so for the second question that I got, it was, what is the second question? Okay. What is the worst part of a spiritual awakening? Now, I can't really say that there's really a worst part, because I know that everything about a spiritual awakening is necessary to take place. I know that all of it is taking place for a reason. But I could say the most difficult part of having a spiritual awakening was really having to understand that there was a lot of reprogramming that needed to be done about me. There was a lot of reprogramming. For a long time, I just believed a certain program about myself that wasn't necessarily true, but it was just something that I created, that I started to believe about myself. So the worst part is really just having to retrain your brain, but it's not really the worst. It's just difficult, it can take months really to reprogram your subconscious mind. A lot of people would do it through affirmations. Some people would do it through meditation, the deep state meditations, and just positive action, going outside, waking up early, stretching, doing yoga, meditating. That's how a lot of people can start to reprogram their subconscious mind, but it does take a while. So I'll say that was difficult. Well, for me, I don't really know how difficult for everybody else was, because everybody is going through, something different. But I don't really think there was any worst part. I just think that the most difficult part is really just unteaching yourself a lot of things that you believed. If you believe that you're not attractive, it can be difficult during a spiritual awakening to reprogram that thought and create a different thought that will replace it. But then again, it all just depends on your perception. If you believe that something is difficult, then it'll be difficult. But if you believe that something is, simple, then, but that takes reprogramming, Okay. So for my next question is my thoughts on religion. I have a lot of thoughts on religion. I was grown up Christian, like from a young age. I was taught how to pray. A lot of things about myself really came from Christianity because I was raised like basically in church like all the time. I stopped going to church like so often after my mom passed away. But my thoughts on religion are just, I feel like every religion kind of tries to relay the same message, don't hurt people, love people, spread love, we all kind of relay the same message. So I think there's really just a lot of truth, in religion, like in general. I think there's a lot of truth in it. So my thoughts are just try to keep an open mind, like religion can try to keep a box on you, you know what I mean? Like if you're your own person and you express yourself spiritually or religiously or whichever, like as long as you focus on the good stuff, don't do anything bad, don't be a bad person, and then my last question that I got was something I wish I knew before my journey started. And for me, something that I really wish I knew was just get out of your head and get into your body. Because in the beginning, I was really just having like these harsh thoughts. Like I was really just questioning my entire existence. And I don't know if a lot of people experience those things during the spiritual awakening, but I know there's just like a lot of questioning that would come up in the beginning that would start to trigger, just all the curiosity built up within us. So something that I wish I knew was really just get out of your head, because I was just like my thoughts were starting to overwhelm me. But once I got out of my head and I started really meditating deeply and stretching and going outside and putting my feet in the grass and just doing things that help me get out of my head and get into the present moment and get in my body, that's when a lot of stuff started to open up for me, and I started to feel a lot better about my spiritual awakening journey. So yeah, that's something that I wish I knew, but you can't really go back now. I appreciate everything that took place when it did, you know what I mean? Because if it didn't, I wouldn't be here right now, obviously. So that was the last question. I appreciate everybody who made questions for me so I could make this episode, and I also appreciate you for being here and listening to me. Thank you so much for staying for as long as these minutes that are here. And I hope to see you on the 3rd episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you later.